How's it going, everybody? It's official word here, or Wordcock. If you may have only come across me recently, that's how you know me. But yeah, it used to be official word. That's my name in game. But regardless, we've got some beautiful hits today. I really hope you guys enjoy watching this Fireball Rocketloons with this army that I'm going to be running. 10 Barchers have been extremely helpful, but obviously when they're gone, not going to be in trouble. Rocketloons do just the same trick. I put in a second rage because I time failed a lot the other day and practiced with it a bunch. I'm liking it. I'm liking the second rage, actually. So 4 invis is a little tougher, especially if you're using one to set up some Rocketloons for a flinger. But this is what I've been running. My hero equipments are this. I know a lot of you guys want to see that. So getting a lot of them maxed now. This army has them all maxed. But yeah, that'll be the army for today's video. It'll be linked in the description. And yeah, don't skip through the attacks. Today is a great day. So I really hope you guys enjoy watching. Going to be going plus 60. All right, so first base here, and this is an interesting one. I've never seen this one before. I'm looking for a flame flinger. Don't really see one, but I guess if I take down this expo at 3 o'clock, I could probably set one up. Yeah, over here. I'm going to do that. So let me find, I want a fireball somewhere by that clan castle. Probably the scatter shot. Yeah, I think the scatter shot would get most of the compartment and be easy. My warden will be safe for a little bit right there. So I was just checking for any Tesla, and then I was just going in right there. I probably could have used a barb to check for Teslas instead of a rocket loon, but it also checks for air traps, so that's not too bad. This is going to go get that multi-archer tower, maybe the gear tower, but regardless, pretty good value. I'll take that. So we're entering here. Warden's still doing his job. I'm probably going to snipe out this archer tower, and that's it for buildings. These Barchers are really handy for that, not going to lie. So yeah, they really help with that value. Get it for pretty cheap. So Warden's going to continue walking. And yeah, I'll take out this mortar to be safe, but I learned a cool new trick, which is using the Warden's Rage gem. Like, I'm sure probably most of you noticed this, but I've never actually used this, where you can use it to tell what building you're going to go to next, or also what the range is of your fireball, so I could tell what's closer and stuff. But there's a nice fireball landing it right there. I think I'd like my Warden to go up, because that's a pretty thin side, nice and easy to deal with, and my Sui could go in nicely through the fire spider. Let's see if my Warden gets pulled. Nice, okay, good. So that's looking good. I'm going to invis right here and rage. Don't want to be making any mistakes in the first hit of the day. So Baby Dragon's going to funnel right there, get some Barchers in, check the Warden again. He's still doing fine. But I really don't want him to join the hero, so I'm going to pull him again. Pull him outside the base with 4 rocket balloons. And there's a Skelly. I think my king's getting targeted. I need my king to open the walls here to the town hall so that my queen can get it. So I didn't need his ability to go off, and now I can, but I needed him to get past that first of all. So that's much nicer. And yeah, we're looking really good on this one. There's not much base left. My queen will finish all that. Warden will kind of get to this section. Just take this damage off of my Warden with the Barchers. And yeah, there's nothing left on the base. I'll probably poison this king. Yep, just because, I took on the clan castle, and there's a ricochet cannon that would bounce off and kill my headhunter. So it's a little tough. I'll rage him up as well, just because, I don't want him to die. And I don't think there's a reason not to. So this is looking really nice. This one will be a really good triple. Minute left, so I'm not going to risk any time fails. Popping the Minion Prince ability also just to kind of lessen the damage that is on anything, just to make it as easy as possible. But this one's going to be a triple, so good start to the day on a little bit of a weird base, but the Flinger was a good setup. The Sui did well. The Fireball wasn't too hard to hit and got good enough value. Obviously, there could have been better value getting the whole compartment, but I don't think it was worth it for how cheap that really was. So really, really good start, and let's get in the second one. Okay, second base, on fire. I know this clan, actually, that's funny. What do we got right here? The top side looks like there's a flinger. I'm not so sure I see a setup here. But there is some good fireball value on this base. Either the core, or honestly, just hitting the multi-archer tower on the outside is pretty good. I think I want to try and actually take out this mortar and set up a flinger at the top right here. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So let me try and take this down, checking the hero ranges just to make sure where I'm going to put my flinger. So we take down those buildings with the Barchers. Honestly, really helpful, because otherwise that is an expensive flinger using that many rocket balloons. But with the Barchers, it's nice and cheap, so that worked out well. They're also checking for traps. I wasn't sure the range of the Tesla, not going to lie, so I just wanted to drop the rocket balloons, get it down to be safe, that it wasn't on my flinger, but wasn't so sure. I was actually thinking about going for a short fireball on this one, just hitting the archer tower, but then I was like, you know what? I think I can get this damage pretty easily. Let me just go in for the deeper fireball. So we get through this section nicely. I'm probably going to Barcher out the mortar and maybe the archer tower at the bottom, just to make the fireball a little easier to hit, but we'll see. Warren's going to keep going through here, and I'm getting ready. Honestly, if I hit the ricochet cannon, that'd be really nice, but at this point, just the Builder Hut is good enough, so I'm actually just going to do that. Pulled the Furnace already, so I have Poison right there, making sure my Warden's going to be safe. Flinger's doing well. I'm not sure if it'll get this multi-arch tower. I think it should. Yeah, there we go. Nice. That's really good. So Flinger's doing really good work up there. Just checking for any traps, pulling more Clan Castle if it was there, so probably shouldn't have done that. Not very smart, but Warden's going to step up. And after this, it's going to go to the Elixir Storage, which is probably when I'll fireball this Builder Hut, just because then I won't need my Ice Block. Tried to reach that with an invis, wasn't so sure, but yeah, as you can see, it's closer to the Builder Hut than the Expo, so I don't even have to bother with the ranges. Like I can now see obviously where it's going to go, so that's nice. On this one, I don't know, I think this might have been a little bit of a mistake, because the Sui right here, like there's two buildings, and it's a really troublesome kind of experience for them to go through the walls that are there, the heroes that are there. Like it doesn't work out very cleanly. So part of that is because of my skeleton spell that's distracting the heroes and pulling them into weird spots. But yeah, definitely a little weird. Oh my goodness, I have 3 spectators right now. But yeah, we're continuing to go in right here, and the only thing I'm worried about is that like my king's got the minion prince on him, so it's just going to keep doing damage forever. I'm out of the headhunters, so that's a little tough, but that's fine. At this point, the base is kind of gone. Good fireball and a good flinger. So minion prince, I'm just going to set up through the town hall to help the warden especially. So that looks really nice. I've got the queen still with her ability to go take out the core. And honestly, like I have the extra invis right here, so I could be using it to redirect my queen into the core if I needed to, but I saw the minion prince die, knew she was going to go in and let her just do just that. So she goes, takes down the ricochet cannon, no problem. And there's just no base left. There's one single scatter shot. We got 3 spells and a lot of troops left. So this one's absolutely crushed. Obviously, there's some time, but still over 20 seconds left is kind of crushed. So we did really well on this attack. A really clean triple. And yeah, let's get in the next one. Okay, DZ Hope, I actually know this guy. That's funny. Oh, this is a nice base. I don't even, this would be tough to get a flinger. I could probably take out an Expo, but I don't think it's worth it. The fireball is super juicy. I like to go for the gear tower. Usually not too hard to hit from 6 o'clock, and it gets you most of the compartment other than the top multi Inferno, but it gives you the clan castle as well, whereas going for like a spitter gets you the whole compartment but no clan castle, and I want to get the clan castle, so we charge from the bottom, just using the balloon to take out the Builder Hut there so that the Barchers have an easy time. And I'm looking up top, but I was like, nah, I'm not going to go for the flinger. So I get the siege barracks ready right there. At this point, I think I made a mistake going for that freeze. I think just one rocket balloon tanks the multi-archer tower enough, so that could have been a saved spell. So yeah, I don't think that was a necessary freeze. So that was a little bit of a wasted spell, but you see me go in right here for the wizard tower. Usually I use 2 Barchers, but at this point I just wanted to take it down because I was about to fireball, so I used 3 quickly. And yeah, I want to take down the mortar because at this point I see a nice invis on those cluster buildings by the scatter shot and then by the town hall right there. And then obviously in the core to direct it to the gear tower itself. So yeah, right here you see me set up beautifully. Fireball launches and just perfect right there. So I probably could have invis the air defense to be a little safer, but I was very confident with that. So if that's you, maybe you want to do that, but not the end of the world. At this point, I actually want my warden to go left because this town hall is really easy to get. It's just on its own, and I feel like my Sui would take too much damage around that area, and it's not worth it. So I set up the siege barracks. I'm planning to go in with the warden to the left. So right here, I tried to pull him, but I didn't realize that storage was 1 HP. So he actually doesn't even get pulled in. I thought these balloons still were really close to his aura. I really thought he was going to get pulled right about here towards the town hall. I couldn't believe he didn't, but I was like, regardless, I still like the setup, so I let him charge with the heroes. The only thing I was worried about was being a minute 30 and him joining the heroes. Usually this is a little slower when he joins in, so I was like, we only have a minute left, and he joined in, like, this one's gonna be risky, but I wanted to make sure the spiky ball hit those big defenses, so I popped it right there to make sure that it didn't go outside, but stayed on these buildings. And then I sent the minion prince. I probably could have just used rocket balloons on the town hall, but I like the minion prince right here because if it was in air defense range, I probably would have used rocket balloons because I didn't want my minion prince ability to go off. But based on this, he's still full health leaving the town hall. Like, I don't know, that's worth it to me. So I'll pop the ability right here on the Expo to shoot into the back end. And yeah, base is gone, honestly. The queen is just doing really well up there with the healers on her and the rage gem. And yeah, there's no base. So I'll drop the skeleton spell to help with the scatter shot and the world champion. Hog and Headhunter here to try and snipe out the world champion, but honestly with the frost effect there's no damage left. This is crazy. Like, the minion prince is so good. So there's a nice 3-star. Unfortunately I would have rather my warden go left, and then maybe we're looking at a swag minion prince, who knows. But swag spells right there and another triple. Alright, next base is a classic one, and yeah, this is one that I hit all the time in a similar fashion. I was thinking of trying something else, but then I was like, you know what, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean? Like, why would I be switching that up? So I'm going to go for the same thing, which is a flinger at 9 o'clock. You got to kill the king, and then you can set up a nice flinger onto the Rico and the multi-gear and poison. And then you can fireball starting at 6 o'clock the ricochet cannon. You get the clan castle plus the crusher mortar. Just a really, really nice fireball. So that's what I was aiming for on this one. Use the barbs right there to check for Tesla. I should have realized, I don't know, that barb was in bomb tower range, so I don't know if I should have tried to kill the king. Probably it wouldn't have worked anyway, so good call by me. But I do use I realized right here, I don't have any more barbs, I have archers, but I couldn't pull the king with that archer. I tried to, so that king was going to be a menace, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I got a freeze on the king plus 3 headhunters. Like, that should burst him down, right? So that's my plan right here on how to kill the king. I'm also keeping an eye because as the flinger moves in, that's when he's going to come out. So I have to pay attention to both right here. I rage my warden so I can look off of him a bit. And I know he's going to be safe through an X-bow and a multi-archer tower. So I freeze right there with 3 headhunters, and I'm really hoping that's going to be enough. It does leave me with none for my warden or my Sui, but you know what? It's more important the flinger gets value. And on this one, look at what happens. So the king gets a shot, and then a Tesla pops, and of course it's in range. Pops my flinger. So I was thinking, great, like the flinger I used to freeze all my headhunters, and it still didn't get much value. What a waste. But if you think about it, it did get the poison tower, and it's actually going to burn down the gear tower, which is crazy. So that's really good value. The warden right here, I'm just paying attention, and I was like, you know what? He's going to take down the scatter shot. There's a minute 40. Like, this is going to take a while, so I'm just going to wait for him to get it down, and then I'll set up my fireball. And I didn't want to go too deep and worry about missing. So actually at this point, I didn't use the ice block because then I knew he would go to the skeletons. But yeah, I set up the fireball. I'd missed the crusher mortar by just hitting the multi, but I still thought that was worth it. And I did like the Sui angle right here, going into the monolith. I think I need to let my ice golem work a little bit because he's just dying instantly on some of these bases. But we set up a nice funnel, and yeah, this monolith like is just gonna wreck. Right here, honestly, a great ice block because with Royal Champion and that Gigabomb, he was dead for sure. So that's something I wasn't even like necessarily paying too much attention to the Gigabomb, but I should have known if it's in his path, use that, because yeah, that was really nice, but I wasn't necessarily planning it. On this one, you know, queen ability early, and the real queen right there gets sniped. Like, I was like thinking this one's not looking too hot, you know, like I don't like when my queen dies that early, and I usually like her ability after the warden. But then I saw a really nice minion prince ability, so I pop it right there, slowing down everything that the heroes are being damaged by. And then I was thinking my warden's safe because the crusher mortar will never reach him, and I was like, wait a minute, there's actually no damage left on the base. So once again, I'm actually using some of these rocket balloons to snipe out buildings to try to let me direct target this air defense. It turns out I just overwhelmed the base, and it wasn't that critical to get it down and keep my minion prince alive because he did that himself. But yeah, this base was absolutely crushed. And if you think about it, the reason why maybe it's not like slammed, my flinger got 0 value. I got like no siege. Okay, it actually got the gear tower. It's not 0 value, but still, swagging 2 spells on a not so great flinger, we'll take it. And let's get the next one. All right, so hook tower. I immediately click in and go, uh-oh, what's the range of this thing? So how I usually like to approach these bases is fireball a rage tower. Obviously, you do that on every double rage. But then I was like, if I set up a flinger, the only problem is you got to make sure your heroes are funneled into the hook tower. So I'm thinking about this. How am I going to do this? Where am I going to fireball? Where am I going to set up my heroes? So what I see is, let me fireball this rage tower. Look at the hook tower range, right? I can go around the right side there towards the multi, the mortar, and I should be fine. So I'll let my warden walk right after I fireball this section. I'm going to use some barchers to snipe out these buildings to trim up the number of invises I have to use. And it's just going to be a double invis right here. Pretty simple. Kept my warden away from the mortar so that I was sure it would hit the rage tower. But yeah, really good fireball right there. Tesla popped up, but the instant fireball shoots over. So now my warden's safe. He'll be out of the hook tower range. So I'm starting my Sui from the bottom really early, 2 minutes and 40 seconds on this one. And I could have went with the flinger at 12 o'clock, and you might have seen that and said, you know, let's do that. The only reason I didn't was because of this, right? To get your king into a hook tower, you need to make sure he gets funneled. So I was willing to risk less flame flinger value, or I guess less siege machine value by not going for the flame flinger, just to make sure my king gets hooked. So that's what my plan was here. The ice columns are stalling me up. There's actually no damage on me. If there was, I might be in trouble because king ability would be forced. But in this case, like, look at this. The ice golem's actually going to pop at the perfect time, walk forward and slow everything down. Warden's still doing fine. And actually, luckily, like, I have 4 spectators. One of the guys I was actually in voice chat with, just because we had just had an esports war, and he was helping me, telling me whether my warden was in range or not. So that was actually helpful. But at this point, I see my king's getting targeted by the hook towers looking towards him. The frosty goes, but I'm like, okay, king's next. So I actually ice block because I'm like, there's a lot of damage right there. Who knows if his ability's going off? It probably wouldn't have, but I just would rather be safe and make sure that it goes off in the core. So that happens. I always forget, like, my queen just stepped all the way up to those heroes. I thought she got hooked in, but she just walked all the way up there. And honestly, the reason I went minion prince is because that. Look at that. My queen stepped up. She was dead. Like, there's so many defenses. The minion prince slowing everything down stops any damage from going on to my queen. Like, look at this. She is still, I guess, like, she died, but like the clones are still full health, the giant's full health, and there's no base left. This is unreal. So I still have 2 rage spells. Like, I was like, man, at this point I was like, this base is crushed. Like, I was worried for a second. My queen kept walking too far forward, but I was like, what am I worried about? This base is crushed. So I use a rage right here just to get through these buildings quicker, but fully swagged. Look at that. My minion prince already out of it. Like, 2 swag rages, a swag freeze, and invis. Like, yeah, this base was crushed. So that's what you got to do. Make sure your king goes in. And yeah, I'll be using the siege barracks every time just to be like as confident as I can that he gets hooked in. But there's that base, a nice hook base. And let's get the next one. So Quantum Legends here in this base is kind of interesting. I was struggling to find some Flame Flinger value. I was looking around, struggling to find Fireball value. Then I noticed this mortar on the outside, this multi-mortar that's pretty easy to reach. And I was like, I think I can get both Ricochet cannons here. Not sure about the top one because of the expo range, but I was like, I think I can. So I noticed to set that up, and then I'm also looking at the bottom. I love to go behind the spitters on these bases. The problem is usually there's a lot at the top side. There's not so much on this one, so I was pretty confident that if I sent the Fireball onto the builder hut right there, I'd get the fire spitter. I'll go get some really nice value, and that was really easy to hit. So I snipe out both wizard towers. There's the nice Fireball. I haven't even deployed my healers yet, and you'll actually notice something pretty funny right here. Look at that Fireball, though. Unreal value, first of all. Second of all, I noticed, yeah, I'd only put down 2 healers, so I put the rest down. I'm trying to snipe out this multi-mortar, and yeah, we get some nice value right there. I think I sniped out the other mortar as well, yeah, just to be safe. But we set up the flinger, 2 minutes 30, like, maybe you think it's a little slow, but could have set it up a little earlier, but not too bad. So we're going to send in the Hog Rider right there. You see, that's the reason. A lot of people asked about the Hog Rider. That's the purpose right there. Just checking for any skeleton spells over in that area, or skeleton traps, I guess. And on this one, I don't know, my warden was going for the fire spitter, and then just looking at the archer tower shooting me with the expo, and that would take some spells, some just time. So I was like, let me actually just pull my warden up, take the multi-archer tower out right away. Also keeps him more outside the base, first of all, so that's lovely. And at this point, I'm like, okay, my flame flinger, not sure how much value it'll get, more than this ricochet cannon because the expo. So I just start my Sui. It's doing all right. It's taken a little bit of time, but once again, similar to the reason I use the balloons to pull my warden, I'm thinking I don't want my warden to go into the core here where my heroes are going to go, so I'm getting ready to pull him out. Probably after this expo goes down, pull him out to the archer tower. I might not even have waited for the expo to go down, to be honest, but there's a nice poison. Sometimes this is tough, right? Like, my queen's getting shot by the town hall with the ice golems there. Her ability's going to pop and she dies. But on this one, luckily, there's not that much damage. There's 1 expo. Like, sometimes there's a lot of damage and you run into trouble with that. But yeah, on this one, there's not much damage, so I can pop her ability. She's going to get some value. I freeze right here, though, to just help out a little bit more. And yeah, on this one, I look away from my warden. I needed to, I ice blocked right here thinking the queen was on me. She wasn't on me yet, like, and you see that. So this one, I was like, oh, what am I doing? What a waste. So I'm setting up some cleanup. I'm like, let me look back with my minion prince. And that's when my warden got pulled. And I was like, bro, I tried to invis him, I missed. At this point, I was thinking it might be chalks. There's a lot of damage on this 3 o'clock compartment. But I do have a rage up minion prince, so I was still believing. Sent in the Rocketloon to take out the wizard tower. I'm really trying to tank for getting the queen down. And my minion prince gets her because the boogers and Sneezy are tanking. And I notice, oh my goodness, this Yeti's going to get the gear tower. And so far we're perfect, so I'm thinking this may be a perfect day, and I might have just lost it. Like, I'm pissed, but I got a lot of wizards left, and I'm like, let me hang on. I might be able to get this one. So I gotta avoid these heroes, obviously. But Wallbreaker tried to come in, didn't do anything. Probably shouldn't have used it because it pulled the king over. But at this point, I thought the minion prince was on mine, and I lost. But it couldn't reach me. The minion prince wasn't in range of my minion prince and just kept walking away. And I was like, oh my goodness, I got it. So this one tripled. Obviously, if I keep my warden alive there, that's a pretty obvious triple, but I did get a little lucky, and we get that one. Now into this one, I think it's second last hit of the day, and double spitter core, I'm like, these ones can be tough, right? Like, obviously double spitter core can be a little troublesome for your warden. Looking at a flame flinger potentially setting up on taking out an expo in the corner, and then I remembered there's this thing that I've seen recently, which is to use the barchers on the buildings by the rage tower and set up a flinger. Obviously there's the queen right there defending it, but at this point, when there's a defense, it's, got the value of the defense for taking it out. When there's a raged up defense, that's worth a lot more than, it was originally. I think I didn't need 2 Rocketloons right there because my warden was going to, he walked for a little bit anyways, that I think I would have taken out the mortar on my own, so that was a little bit of a waste. But yeah, right here, see, he would have went and taken it out. So a little bit of a waste, but it is all right. I'm trying to set up the fireball right here, so I'm waiting for the air defense to go down just to trim up invis. And you'll actually notice that if you take down the if you hit the builder hut, because it's 4 tiles to the things, I don't need to go for the rage tower. This is a nice simple fireball getting all the same value, and that looks nice. So now I'm going to take out this Tesla, and we set up a flinger right here, just checking for any skelly traps once again. See there's none. See my warden's okay. I'll set it up. Because as I was saying, getting a ricochet cannon down is like, that's alright value, but I'm probably not going to use a flame flinger for one single ricochet cannon. However, a raged up ricochet cannon, now we're talking, right? This is a little different of a story. So I was fine with that. At this point, I'm taking out the furnace, which is really nice while I'm under not much damage. I'm trying to set up a funnel right here, so I go with the rocket loon, and we set it up. Wizards right there as well, funneling. I thought the minion prince was on me, so I quickly zoom over, but he's not quite yet. I'll rage up though, getting ready for that. Going to continue funneling my warden in, and this is a great invis because 1, the minion prince was on me. I don't think I need it though. 2, it gets the ice golems away. Like if I'm fighting the ice golems by the spitters, by the minion prince, like I might run into some trouble here with you know, the spitters tagging my healers. I thought the monolith was on me based on the damage I took, but it was the minion prince shooting while dying. So that invis was a little bit wasted, but minion prince came in on this side just to try to help on the monolith and spitter that are on my warden. So I freeze right there also to help me on the spitter. And my minion prince sets up really nicely on that expo, so I pop the ability, going through most of the rage compartment. Rage up my minion prince, and this one was like, okay, let's see how my minion prince does, right? There's a multi-archer tower, not under the frost spell, a lot of air defenses in this section. Let's see how he really can do, and man, did he ever cook. He goes through that whole section of the base, and the gear tower here is one shot. I don't know if you noticed that, but it's really weak right there, so it goes down because I was a little worried with no spells my warden would be cooked. But that goes down, and that honestly was the clutch right there. If the gear tower killed my warden, I would have probably failed this. I don't know. Maybe probably my queen is still clutching this up, to be honest with you. Full health with a giant full health. But yeah, this one was a really nice triple, setting up a flinger with just enough value. And minion prince cooked. Heroes did well. Warden did well. Really happy with this triple. And let's get in the last one. Let's see if we can get this perfect day. All right, final base, and many of you guys know, once again, hook tower. I'm like, you're kidding me. Many of you know I've been really close on a lot of days, a couple 1-failed days now. So I've been dying for this 320 with Fireball Rocketloons. I'm sure somebody's got it already, but like none of my YouTuber friends who are very good, you know, have gotten one yet. So I was really hoping to be the first, and this base is a little tough. Yeah, on this one, I went for a fireball in the air defense at 6 o'clock. You'll see the value getting the expo, the scatter shot, multi-arch, ricochet cannon. Like, that is some fantastic fireball value. I'm not going to lie. That's 5 big defenses. So that's fantastic. There's just a couple problems with this approach. First of all, I didn't find a flame flinger pretty early. I thought my warden was going to naturally pull to the left. He didn't, so I'm going to have to invest balloons, which I didn't really want to invest. So there's like 4 balloons being invested just because he didn't get pulled. And I didn't see this earlier. I probably should have went for that flame flinger a lot earlier into the attack and just saved some time. But my warden right here, my goodness, Gigabomb, Hero, and Headhunter. I almost lost him on the final hit. I was stressing. This is similar to what happened earlier. I think I got to pay more attention to the Gigabomb because of that. But you'll see right here, the hook tower, I'm just thinking my king's got to get to the gear tower. That should be really easy, am I right? Like, he's just got to get to the gear tower, and I'm getting hooked in. This is a nice, easy triple. So I'm going in right here. Barchers are funneling in, and the skeleton spell is distracting, so I'm feeling really good. Then it turns to my king. I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll just freeze it. It goes down right here to the Rocketloons, so I'm still not worried. My warden, I think, is far enough away. I also noticed he's naturally going to go outside the base right here, so I was really happy. I was just going to let him go where he was. King is getting stalled up forever by the ice golems, but you'll see the problem right here. The boogers. The boogers are getting hooked in constantly. The Frosty's tanking. Like, my king is not getting close enough, and I was at this point going, uh-oh, he's about to pop his ability. The hook tower is not looking at him. I was like, oh my gosh. So I popped the king ability right here to open up the core, trying to get my queen potentially in there. Warden, I was thinking to go 6 o'clock with a minion prince because there wasn't much base left at the top. Probably should have done that. At this point, I was thinking, let me frost everything. Queen will go in, take out the core, no problem. But she goes outside, which isn't ideal. I thought these queens that are, you know, towards the core would do a little bit more than they did before dying, especially they were continuing to get hooked, getting beat down by the ricochet cannon. So, yeah, my minion prince is looking grim. He just lost his metal pants. I got nothing left, no spells. The minion prince will kill my warden, and now I'm like, oh my goodness, you're kidding me. Final attack, not only am I failing, I'm going to 1-star. And yeah, that's exactly what happened. I get a 1-star right here. Pretty unfortunate on the final hit. Looking back at this one, obviously that's a phenomenal fireball, but it does cause trouble with that. It just relies on your king getting hooked, which is really tough. Good way to approach hook bases, but it's just tough. So I think coming in from 9 o'clock, there wasn't much damage, and hitting a fire spitter in the core, I think I've done that even before, and I would have got the entire core, both fire spitters and the hook tower. And coming in opposite the hook tower, it's not that hard of a fireball to hit. So I think that's what I would have done differently, and I mean, that would have definitely tripled the base. So looking back on it, if you want some reason on why I failed this base, Flinger was good. I'm approaching from 9 o'clock next time. Gonna set up my fireball onto the fire spitter. Heroes will go in through 3 o'clock through that kind of big section in the clan castle, but that would have tripled for sure. And that'll finish my day at 295. Not terrible at all, but yeah, that'll do it.